Elon Musk has officially broken up with Donald Trump. Okay, that was not exactly how I wanted that to come out, but he has broken. He breaks. Elon Musk breaks with Donald Trump over the spending in the big, beautiful bill, raises our debt ceiling by, I think Rand Paul said, $4 to $5 trillion. And this is something that Rand Paul is talking about. This is also something that Thomas Massie is talking about. And now Elon Musk is agreeing with both Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. And I think we've seen Donald Trump blast both of these representatives over not voting yes on his big, beautiful bill. He actually called to primary Thomas Massie. I don't recall if he called to primary Rand Paul, but he did have some very disparaging things to say about Rand Paul. But now Elon Musk is actually siding with them. This is very new. There is a tweet. It was very public. He blasted the bill very publicly on his Twitter, which is, I believe, one of the most, if not the most followed Twitter account on the platform. Musk blasts Trump's signature bill as disgusting abomination. Elon Musk unloaded on President Trump's signature tax and spending bill Tuesday, declaring that he could no longer stay silent on what he called a disgusting abomination. Let's actually go to the tweet. Okay, here we go. Elon Musk, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. So very strong words from Elon Musk. Musk's scathing criticism of the one big, beautiful bill passed by the House last month comes just days after the former head of Doge departed the Trump administration. Musk, Trump's top political donor, said he would remain an informal advisor to the president even after his official work ended. The Tesla CEO has long viewed the national debt as an existential crisis, and this would add, I believe, like I said, around $4 to $5 trillion to the national debt. It's a lot of money. But he had only expressed mild criticism until now about Trump's deficit ballooning bill. Quote, I'm sorry. This is the tweet again. He tweeted that. It will massively increase the already gigantic deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with the crushingly unsustainable debt, he added. Congress is making America bankrupt. And, you know, I agree with this. There's all of these pet projects and all these porks that go out to all of these different donors for our congressmen and women. But when it really comes down to it, what do the American people get? There's like $1 trillion for defense. There's all this money in entitlements, which I agree is for the American people, but there is a ton of corruption in the entitlement programs, which Donald Trump has tried to weed out and Elon Musk has tried to weed out. But there is so much in these giant bills, these, what do they call them, omnibus bills, that is just total waste, completely unnecessary, and yet they always get pushed through. The Congressional Budget Office and independent analysts have projected that Trump's bill, which extends his 2017 tax cuts, would add between $2.3 trillion and $5 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years. The bill also contains new spending for border security and military. So they raised, they're putting additional money in there for defense. Of course, border security, I think we can all agree with that one. That's necessary. I don't think we've been having really that much spent on border security over the past 4 years. So adding some money in there for border security, I think we can all agree with that. Adding money to defense spending, I mean, I guess you can say that's good if you look at it in the perspective of, well, we want to keep our country safe. But when you really inspect what our military industrial complex has been up to, do I believe that they need extra money to go and conduct that type of business that I don't agree with? Absolutely not. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think there should be defense spending cuts, not add to defense spending, which Republicans have sought to offset with cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and green energy tax credits. White House officials have vigorously disputed claims that the bill would add to the deficit, arguing that the projections do not account for the high levels of economic growth that tax cuts could unleash. Rand Paul, he's saying something similar, but he does say he would support the bill under one condition: Take a look at this.
The Senate getting ready to start debating the House-passed reconciliation bill. Our next guest says the math doesn't add up, and he's calling for changes. Joining us right now is Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Good morning to you, Senator. We were just talking to the president's son, in fact. What would it take for you to support this bill?
Well, the main thing that I object to is raising the debt ceiling $4 or $5 trillion. That's an indication that we'll borrow that much. It's an indication that we'll put the debt on the back burner. We'll have no more discussion of it for a year or two. And really, we're locked in a year right now where in March of this year, most of the Republicans, not me, voted to continue the Biden spending levels in March. So we're operating under a continuing resolution, which originated as Biden spending levels. You remember Republicans saying, Bidenomics, Biden inflation, Biden this, Biden that. Well, they voted for that in March. So the deficit here at the end of the fiscal year, at the end of September, will be about $2.2 trillion. I'm not for that, so I voted against the spending levels. But now they want me to vote for $5 trillion worth of increase in a debt ceiling, and I'm just not for that. That's not conservative.
So essentially, Rand Paul is saying that he would vote for the bill if it doesn't include additional raising of the debt ceiling. And on a side note, I do want to show you one very concerning aspect of this bill. This is something, I mean, doesn't really have much to do with the debt ceiling, but this is something I have seen in the bill that I don't agree with whatsoever. I think this is very dangerous. This is coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says, full transparency, I did not know about this section on pages 278 through 279 of the OBBB, the big beautiful bill that strips states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. I am adamantly opposed to this, and it is a violation of states' rights, and I would have voted no if I had known this was in here. And she shows the sources here. This is inside of the big, beautiful bill. It says, in general, except as provided in paragraph 2, no state or political subdivision thereof may enforce during the 10-year period beginning on the date of the enactment of this act any law or regulation of that state or a political subdivision thereof limiting, restricting, or otherwise regulating artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automatic decision systems entered into interstate commerce. So that's very interesting. Then it goes on. Paragraph 1 may not be construed to prohibit the enforcement of any law or regulation that the primary purpose and effect of which is to remove legal impediments to or facilitate the deployment or operation of an artificial intelligence model, system, or decision system. Streamline licensing, permitting, routing, zoning, procurement, and all these other examples. So why is that in there? I mean, you've got to ask, why is that in there? Why do we have a restriction on states from regulating AI? I think there's some profound abilities within AI models. They surprise me every day. If you just look at what an AI can do. I mean, just if you were to say to Grok or ChatGPT, hey, make me a website, code me a website. You know what it would do? It would code you a website in code. And not just simple websites. It could do pretty complex websites in code and develop them. And you can speak to it like a human. They call it vibe coding, actually. Vibe coding is something where you're just like, oh, well, I don't really like that. Can you tweak this? And then it'll tweak some sort of element on the web page to your liking, or it'll build some sort of component for you on a web page to your liking. It could code in virtually every single language that you could imagine: JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Python, C++, C, Go, Rust. All of these languages you might not even know about. These are the foundations for a lot of the websites that you go onto, especially stuff like JavaScript. And these were coded mostly, I assume, by humans. And now these components are being coded increasingly by AI. And I am someone that have dabbled in web development, pure coding before, not just drag and drop websites. I've developed tools that I use in my everyday life from code. And I have done so in the past few months. I've done so with AI. For instance, I can talk about one tool that I use for downloading videos, because I post a lot of videos to Instagram and Facebook. I made a component, I made a tool with AI that allows me to download a video from virtually anywhere on the internet, just put in the link, and I could trim that video before I even download it. And I made it with AI. If I were to try to code that by myself, it would have taken me a very, very long time. But with the AI tools, it only took me, I don't know, maybe a week. And that was not even me spending a ton of time on it. So the ability of AI is growing exponentially. And I think saying that states can't regulate AI, I think that's a little bit dangerous. That's what I would assume. Of course, I am not an expert like these politicians are, but just my own experience. It's a little bit interesting. Thomas Massie, he did respond to Elon Musk, and he said that he supported what Elon Musk was doing. They had a little exchange. Thomas Massie said, "I've been telling folks Congress turned Trump's big, beautiful bill into a debt bomb. For that, I took some big hits. Now Elon is backing me up with facts. If you want to see me keep my seat in Congress and expose him with simple math, please donate today." And then he provides his donation link, of course. But yeah, guys, I mean, me, myself, generally, I support what Donald Trump is doing, trying to cut spending with the tariffs, trying to bring a lot of manufacturing back to the United States. I support these things, but there are some things that, cause me to question what exactly is going on. For instance, I mean, very recently we had that information about the U.S. government partnering with Palantir, creating databases on U.S. citizens. That caused a question in my mind. Why are we doing that? That's a little bit risky. I don't like the sound of that. I'm typically a small government person. But what do you guys think? I'm not sure really what to think. Let me know down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.